Anyways, section 2.7, we are talking now about solving rational equations.
Are we graphing all that?
No.
Is this on its part of the homework?
No, this is a whole new thing.
Why are we going over? I'm going to get confused.
Well, I was actually nice to you and you didn't give these notes yesterday. Anyways, let's focus on. Alright, so just so that we are on the same page. Okay, how do I add fractions? Well, I need a what? A common denominator. Now, you can add these as mixed numbers, but I'm just going to make them improper. So I have 17 thirds plus 14 fifths. What's our common denominator? 15. So what do I need to multiply that 17 by? And what do I need to multiply that 14 by? 3. And what is 17 times 5?
Multiply those two numbers and add that one.
17 times 5.
Plus
85.
85? Okay, and then we add those and we get 127 over 15, and then we reduce if possible.
Mr. Kane, this is necessary.
Yes, it is necessary. Okay? You guys need to know how to add and subtract fractions, multiply fractions, and so on. But anyways, the reason... I'm ready to go on. The reason to do this is to remember that in order to add or subtract that we need... Okay, Jared, what's your question? What don't you understand?
No, I didn't say I didn't understand. I just said apparently I didn't know how to.
Oh, okay. So we need 5, or we need to know and understand how to get the common denominator. So let's do that once more, just to make sure that everyone knows how to do it. Okay, we make them improper first. So 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1, 3. To make it improper. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 2 is 8. Okay, we need our common denominator. It is a 6. So I need to multiply the 3 by 3 and the 8 by 2. So that's 9 minus 16 over 6, which simplifies to negative 7/6. Okay? The whole point to review this, though, was to understand why we were doing what we were doing as far as simplifying these when we're solving.
We didn't teach you that in public school.
Okay. So, let's say that I have 2x over 2x minus 1 equals 3 over x minus 3. What I'm going to do is just like we would instinctively do, we're going to clear the fractions. At this point, that should be an instinct that you have when you're solving. If you have fractions, to clear them. When I do that, I'm going to want to first factor if possible. So I see not factorable, so I just clear the fractions by multiplying. So I'm going to multiply by 2x minus 1 times times x minus 3. And then this is going to distribute to each fraction that I have here. So in the first one, the quantity 2x minus 1 is going to cancel. So I have 2x times, that canceled when it gets over here, so I have x minus 3 equals 3. And then on the other side, the x minus 3's cancel, leaving the 2x minus 1. And then at this point, we're going to go ahead and distribute. And then what do you think we do?
Subtract, like, get it on one side.
Yeah, get everything to one side. That should be a minus. So at the left, I have 2x squared minus 12x plus 3 equals 0. Now, if we don't have a quadratic, then we aren't going to have to get it all to one side like that. We might leave the number on the other side. But now we have a quadratic, and I don't want to spend a lot of time trying to factor this. I go right to quadratic formula. So negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared. So that's going to be 144 minus 2 times, no, 4 times 2 times 3 all over 2 times 2, 4. So I get 12 plus or minus the square root. This quantity right here is going to be 24. So 144 minus 24 is 120 all over 4. I prime factorize that 120 to see if I can simplify it. And I can. I have a 2 cubed times 15 basically, which is going to be 2 squared times 30. So the square root of that's 2. So I have 12 plus or minus 2 root 30 all over 4. And then I can cancel. I can cancel those two by dividing by 2. So I get 6 plus or minus root 30 all over 2 as the final answer. Remember that when you cancel on those, you have to divide all of this by the same thing. In this case, I divide it by 2. I can't divide that 30. That's part of this 2 right here. That's one term. So many of these, you don't have to worry about the quadratic, but every now and then it comes up that you do need it. We'll try a simpler one next. That one was like, I started purposely on a harder one.
Mm-hmm.
Right, let's try an easier one. Okay, so what's my denominator on this x and this 2?
1.
A 1. So I just need to clear this x. No factoring or anything involved. I get an x squared plus 2x equals 15. The x cancels on the other side. So I have x squared plus 2x. It is a quadratic, so I'll get the 15 to the other side. And then I factor. This one does factor. And I get x equals negative 5 and x equals 3. I do need to check for extraneous. Well, what do I mean? I can't have a denominator that's 0. Now, neither of these are extraneous. They both work just fine.
What's extraneous again?
It means it doesn't work. Does not work. Okay? You put it in and you get a 0 somewhere in your denominator. Okay? We'll step it up just a little bit. Now, you'll save yourself some time as far as checking for extraneous if you do what I'm about to do right here. Alright, so I'm going to note right here what I can't be. X cannot be negative 4. X cannot be negative 1. And then when I factor that, this factors to x plus 4, x minus 1. X cannot be 1. I've already listed the negative 4, so I don't need to list it again. I'm going to clear the fractions by multiplying by what?
X plus 4, x minus 1, x. Wait, can it? It's not negative 1. It's positive 1. It's just positive 1. Up there you see you got negative 1. Can't be negative 1.
Oh, it should be negative. Wait.
No, it should
be positive.
And yes, exactly.
X cannot be positive 1. What is this teacher doing? Yeah, there should be positive 1 right there. Alright, so we distribute this to each term. Alright, so the x plus 4 is canceled, so I get 4x times x minus 1 plus 3 times x plus 4. And then all of that cancels, so I get 15. Now what do I do?
Distribute.
So I get 4x squared minus 4x plus 3x plus 12 equals 15. Get everything to one side because it is quadratic. This does factor. Three, 1, like that. Minus, plus. If you didn't see that or couldn't figure it out in a reasonable amount of time, you would quadratic that and you get the same answer. So I get x equals negative 3/4. Did I factor that wrong?
No, but to begin with, you had 3 numbers up there, and so I've been using 3 numbers, like the 3, like x. I've been
Oh.
using the x can't be, or never mind. I've been using 3 numbers, and I'm
I
frustrated.
thought X couldn't be 1.
And x can't be 1. So we reject that answer
You're a
because
rejection.
because it is not in our thingamajig.
I miss your opinion. You reject it all the time.
Yeah, I'm always a reject of society.
Well, Jesus was a reject, so that
Great.
He is
Great.
not
Thank
Jesus.
you. I do not want to be hung on a cross.
was.
We got
You-
rejected
But you're supposed.
by his own
But
people.
you're supposed to live like Jesus.
You got me. Okay. Anyone need to see another example of that?
No, I'm angry with you.
We'll do one more. Because you're angry with me.
It's not funny.
No. If you're going to be angry at me, I want to at least earn it.
You did earn it. You
Kimber,
just
I
made me
don't
do a
know how
bunch of
to
work that was
Kimber.
not required.
Can I sometimes wonder what Jesus would be like coaching a soccer team. I've wondered about it.
He flipped
sometimes.
tables.
He flipped soccer goals.
Depends on if the team was doing what it should.
Which is probably not likely to happen because our team is stupid.
Wow!
Why do you think I did?
No, actually, no.
I didn't understand. What was your question yesterday? Okay. Do you?
No,
feel-
no, not right now.
Wait, I wasn't here. I want to hear about it.
No, don't worry about it.
I'm
I'm
curious.
gonna rephrase it today.
I'm curious.
Okay, don't worry about it. All right, this one.
So I didn't-
What do we? So I factored this. I factored out an x. I'm going to clear by multiplying by x and x minus 1. I'll note x cannot be 0, nor can it be 1. So I clear my fraction. Over here, the x's cancel, so I have x plus 2. Notice how I put that in parentheses so that I actually multiply this correctly. And I have minus 4. The x minus 1 cancel, so I have an x left plus 2. All of that cancels in a 0. Because 0 times that is going to be 0. I'll multiply that out. And I'll combine my like terms. And this factors easily. How do I factor that?
Take out X.
Yep. And x is 0 or x is 3, but x
Rejection.
cannot be 0, so I reject that answer and only the 3.
Just like Jesus.
Alright. Hey. Okay,
I think he would.
We have 6 minutes.
one more.
We have 5 minutes.
It's been a long week. It's been a really long week.
Dad's on vacation.
Good for you.
I'm not writing this one down.
I do not realize one now.
What if he takes up in notes and grades it?
I'll go.
I'm getting like a 60.
Okay. I'm not going to bother factoring that. It doesn't factor nice. So I clear the fractions by multiplying by
X squared minus 1 minus 2.
x squared minus 2. That distributes, cancels that denominator, so I have x squared minus 6x plus 5 equals 3x squared minus 6. Any questions where I got that?
No.
Hold on. Just give me like a minute.
You're the great.
60
Okay.
seconds.
Okay, I'll get everything to the right. So I get 2x squared
You like talk
plus 6x minus 11. That is not factorable, so A is 2, B is 6, and C is negative 11.
You use point slope form.
Do you want to die? Alright, so x equals -6 plus, because that can be arranged around 315.
I was just kidding, guys.
So 6 squared is
Quadratic
36,
formula.
minus 4 times 2 times -11 all over 2 times 2. In the end, this simplifies down, according to the book, to this.
I don't believe it. You gotta go with it.
Are you gonna be laughing at us while we're running today?
No.
That's gonna
No.
be him while y'all run. So.
Yeah.
It's gonna be unanimous.